Hey guys, this is Sarah Knight.
And Lantis.
So we're just going to continue right where we left off and hopefully get through this a little before dinner time.
Which is lasagna. Garfield would be proud.
That's actually one of the last pieces of Italian food I'm actively a fan of. But I do like...
require eyes,
Huh?
John.
Did I not get...
No, you didn't. There has been this strange surge in really, really creepy Garfield fan art.
Okay. I assume you mean creepy as in creepy looking, not like weird porn.
Creepy looking.
Okay.
Like Eldritch horror Garfield.
Oh.
And I honestly really like it. Like, I think it, like, there's been like mock-ups of what it would be like if it were a game, and holy shit, it looks really good. Like Eldritch horror.
Oh boy, this goes a long way down.
Yeah. Eldritch horror Garfield is really cool. Here, let me grab you a picture of. I don't even know what to call. No longer require eyes, John. I'm sure that'll get it. Yeah. This, for example, is a picture of Eldritch horror Garfield.
God.
You thought it was kidding, man.
Dude, that looks like something in the Scary Stories books, the way the illustrator does their work. And I tell you, that's the creepy stuff.
Heaven is void of light, John.
Whoa.
I am eternal. John. Like, it's really, like when I said it's messed up, like, it really is. And I don't even know what, like I wouldn't call it a meme, but I don't know what, like, you would search for.
Just barely.
Spider lasagna? There's no way it's actually called spider lasagna.
Okay, I don't want to know what spider lasagna looks like in turn with. Okay, really, it could not have reached the other dog right next to him. And by the way, Aika's weapon looks stupid.
You look stupid.
Screw you.
No, it's not called spider.
Get me straight.
John, I can smell you.
Whoa.
That was fun.
I can smell your fear.
Like, there's just literally no end to these.
What's his deal, man? Okay, let's see. What does this do? Well,
A braid.
looks like I gotta go underwater for this one.
I like the idea that he suits up and doffs the suit every time he goes in and out of the water.
Can monsters still attack you down here? Surely not.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, well, that's a no-go. I guess we go back up this way. Looks like he's got hooks on his hands or something.
No, they're long sleeves that are tied off.
Right.
Hup, 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 hup.
When all is said and done, this will nowhere near equal the complexity of the water temple in Ocarina of Time. My guess is we gotta keep we gotta keep hitting these buttons in every area until it fills up high enough in the main room. Reminds me of the gigantic room in the water dungeon in Mega Man Legends 2. God, that dungeon just creeps me out.
But I think that's like all the dungeons in Mega Man Legends. I always felt they were pretty cool. Like none of them were super complicated or very intricate. But I thought the theming on them was all good, and like the music and enemies. And, I don't know. I think Mega Man Legends in general is a pretty daggum good set of games. 2 games.
Yeah. Need to have a third one.
There was going to be a third one, but it fell victim to the bullshit that is Kickstarter.
What happened?
It didn't get funded, and like you gotta understand. Wait a minute.
You saw what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, it looks like half of a yin yang symbol.
So it's like, how does that hurt?
A bludgeoning weapon, maybe?
I think pretty much in any event, I'd rather be bludgeoned than cut. Unless we're talking about the difference between like a letter opener to my arm or some non-vital part of the body, as opposed to being like bludgeoned by a falling anvil. You know?
Out of the 3 types of being meleeed, between being bludgeoned, slashed, or pierced, I think I would prefer slash.
An utter victory.
An utter victory. I could just see like a doofy face there.
Yeah, you ain't wrong.
Drill nose. Okay, he's got one more yellow.
And you can swap
thing
them over
to
to something.
Yeah.
The fuck was I talking about? I don't even remember anymore.
Mega Man Legends 3.
Oh yeah.
Something about Kickstarter.
Oh yeah, Kickstarter. So here's the thing. I feel as though people these days are too quick to throw their money at things, only for it to succeed in Kickstarter and then fail when it comes to delivery. Shit like Mighty Number 9 or the Ouya or plenty of other things.
Oh, wasn't that supposed to be like a classic Mega Man clone that really felt
dude,
just
that
was an utter dud?
A train wreck from beginning to end. So
okay, I bet one
Keiji
Reign of Swords
Inafune
does all this.
is the person responsible for that. I think he was also supposed to be the person responsible for Mega Man Legends 3. No, I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back as to why Keiji Inafune went to Kickstarter. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think Mega Man Legends 3 had anything to do with Kickstarter. Regardless, it still failed. And I still don't prefer Kickstarter as a method for funding things. It's just too sketchy. Like even now that it's like a well-known source of getting things funded.
Was that how Nia Sarkeesian funded her, everything is sexist videos?
Great example, SK. That is a wonderful example of why Kickstarter... I'm not saying Kickstarter is bad. I'm just saying you need to fucking pump the brakes. Don't
be more regulated so that you don't get as many scam artists on there.
Well, I mean, it's not even about the scams, because Mighty Number 9 wasn't a scam. It's just that...
You just didn't deliver, right?
They just didn't deliver. The product they delivered... even after it was funded, even after all the delays, and after all the bad press and all stuff, the final product comes out, it's garbage. It's a shit game. And you know what the official response from the father of Mega Man himself was? It's better than nothing.
That was fun.
Yeah, but couldn't he have just made another Mega Man game and
Not without funding.
nobody have to fund it?
How would he make a game without?
Oh wait, does this dude doesn't work with Capcom anymore or something?
No. Inafune left Capcom.
Okay, I didn't know. Or I'm sure I knew, I just forgot about it because it's been like, what, 10 years? At least 10 years since the last Mega Man game was made, so...
Whenever Mega Man 10 came out. I mean, Mega Man 11 eventually came out.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking about Mega Man X series. X8 was like 2007, 2008, I think.
No, I guess I'm talking about more traditional Blue Bomber.
So, okay, who made Mega Man 11?
I mean, that was Capcom. Like...
It just didn't have, like, the father of Mega Man wasn't working there anymore.
Yeah, Keiji Inafune did not do anything with Mega Man 11.
See, like, I never know anybody by their names, like the creators of our favorite, games and stuff.
Iga, for example, Iga is a prime example of a developer that has left his former employer, gone off to Kickstarter to make something, actually produce a product that is worth the investment.
Sybil and Bane time, I'm sure. Menu, thank you. You were saying?
Yeah, he made the new like resurrection of Castlevania. And if you remember, Konami no longer is in the game making industry. They do pachinko machines. So basically, Castlevania is done. So
you're going to have to remind me of what pachinko is.
It's like Japanese slots. It's basically, imagine Plinko from The Price is Right.
Yeah.
Except you drop a bunch of marbles at once, and tallies a score at the bottom, and that's how well you do. And that's it's really, really popular in Japan, and they don't. That's what Konami does now. So Iga had left Konami, and he made Bloodstained, which is heavily inspired by Castlevania.
Is it good?
Yes, I love it. I put several hours into it, and I enjoy the shit out of it. Well, here's the thing. Do you like... How much did you enjoy, like, Aria of Sorrow and Dawn of Sorrow? Or any of the Metroidvanias, like Symphony of the Night, Portrait of Ruin, Order of Ecclesia?
Well, actually, I didn't play the last two you mentioned. I probably didn't even know they existed before.
Oh,
I remember Dawn of Sorrow, Symphony of the Night. I guess I would give him a solid 7 out of 10 at least, so that's good.
Yeah.
I just never became, like, super duper fan, but that's not saying anything against...
I'm a super duper fan, man. I love
I'm not
games.
saying anything against,
the
series itself. I just happen to not, get into it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. There's also Harmony of Dissonance and Circle of the Moon.
Okay, I just want to say, that looked awesome.
What?
That had
Shield?
Yeah, and that had awesome sound. See, I know you're like, what is it with you and sound? Sound contributes a lot.
I wasn't gonna be like that.
You've done it before. Several times before.
No, yeah.
You're just
like,
SK, what is it with you and sound? Well, sound effects also contribute as well as the visuals.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay. But you've been like before, SK, why are you... What is it with
like,
you?
really harping on something?
Okay, man, maybe I was.
And I was just like,
it was just a
calm
reaction.
down.
It's just a reaction you had. I don't know.
We've been around each other for so long, and I guess it's just easy to take the defensive.
Yeah, sacrifice for her and another Royal Blade.
But yeah, man. If you liked which ones did you say you played?
I mean, aside from the NES ones, really the only ones I distinctly remember playing, like from beginning to end, at least once, is Symphony of the Night and Dawn of Sorrow. Dawn of Sorrow was the one on DS that you actually use the stylus to draw magic.
Yep.
I don't know why, but I loved that feature. It got me so into the battle. I'm like there in Homeboy's shoes. I don't even remember who he is. I remember his face, not his name.
Soma Cruz.
I'm like SK the Monster Slayer. I'm like quickly drawing a magic sigil over them to seal them away forever. And when it succeeds, I'm like, yes, I am SK the Monster Slayer.
So the way it works, right, is you have so anything before Symphony of the Night is a completely different genre of game entirely. So if you're talking about stuff on Super Nintendo, like Castlevania 4, right, that's not the same kind of game as Symphony of the Night. That began the Metroidvania series, and that started with Symphony of the Night on the PlayStation. And then there was, you haven't heard from it, till the GBA with Circle of the Moon. Circle of the Moon was the first time Castlevania come back, but specifically the Metroidvania series, followed by Harmony of Dissonance, then Aria of Sorrow. Now, Circle of the Moon was pretty good. Harmony of Dissonance, not so much, but still a good game. I enjoyed playing it.
Right.
But Aria of Sorrow is fucking fantastic. I love Aria of Sorrow. It's right up there with Symphony of the Night, right? And same for Dawn of Sorrow. I think Dawn of Sorrow is also really good as well.
Okay.
After which you had Portrait of Ruin and then Order of Ecclesia, which both are pretty good in their own right.
That was easy.
I think that both of them are better than Harmony of Dissonance, but not as good as Aria and Dawn. But the thing is, after that, the series goes dark, right? We don't see anything for forever, and then Konami goes through that thing where they lose everything, and that's when Iga moves over to Kickstarter and says, "Hey, I'm bringing this franchise back under a different name." And
like it or not.
Yeah. So here's the thing, though. I mentioned all this shit because the game, the style of gameplay, because each of the Castlevanias play differently from one another. There's like a gimmick. Like in Circle of the Moon, they use like kind of tarot cards to mix and match to get your special abilities and stuff like that.
Right.
And in Dawn of Sorrow, it's all about killing enemies, absorbing their soul, and then equipping that soul and doing something with it. That's the style that Bloodstained is, right? Where you kill an enemy, you have a chance for them to drop their soul. You can then take that soul, equip it, and level it up, and I think that was really smart, because I think most people, when they think about the Metroidvania genre outside of Symphony of the Night, will tend to lean towards Aria and Dawn of Sorrow. And that's the similar, like, that's the model of game they decided to do. And I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with it. If ever you had that Dawn of Sorrow itch again, pick up Bloodstained.
Okay.
And I say that not only for a recommendation, but to get more money in the pockets of Iga to incentivize him to do it again. Vote with your wallet. What you want to see more of, that's what you buy. So how are the kids?
I'll be honest, dude. I don't think... some people, especially Miss Margaret, older black woman, she's my friend, don't get me wrong, but she's got that, loud black woman stereotype. It's just somehow when she does it, it doesn't get on my nerves. I don't know why.
Maybe because you know her personally.
Yeah, she's a nice woman, and so I'm like, I try to be like, do like the being mindful of the elderly, and I'm saying that in a non-disrespectful way.
I wonder how she would react if she heard you say that.
I'm pretty sure I've said it in terms like that before, so it wouldn't.
Okay.
I mean, we get along well, and I try to do things like, I see her, we got to carry out glass waste every day, and that's a pain in the butt when you're in her area. She takes out like 2 buckets a day. She got one in each hand. I hold open the door for her because she has to go out through my lab. Stuff like that. I do stuff like that for her, And she's always complimenting, like, you being a nice, mindful young man of your elders, that kind of thing. But anyway, she is one of like 2 or 3 people who have asked me, and probably more than once, like, SK, when you gonna have some kids? I'm like, first of all,
there's a missing component to that formula.
I'm like, first of all, I gotta find a woman crazy and stupid enough to even want to create progeny who she's sharing my DNA with, like carrying half my DNA, and they're all like, ha ha ha, I'm being funny, I'm making fun of myself. What's the term?
Self-detrimental.
Yeah, self-deprecating. I think is what I'm looking for. So, but it's also true. And honestly, I know probably most women do want to have kids, but even so, I just don't see it in my future. And I'm like, can you also can you imagine me, even if I were already married, can you imagine me being a father?
I mean, I
Seriously.
think everybody has the ability to. Not ability, but anybody can become a good father. Like, even if you don't see yourself as it now, you would change.
I'm not saying that in terms like I think I'd be like an abusive drunkard,
No,
asshole father, but like and they're like, at one point, Miss Margaret or other people, who have asked me the same question, started off conversation this way. So like, are you saying you can just say you don't like kids?
I'll say I don't like
Okay,
kids.
and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna be. I immediately think of like Cinema Snob because he likes to hate on children in a lot of his reviews. There's one he literally starts off. In fact, you've seen it. The one where they had the scene in the mass murder of the cult children. At the end of it, he starts off the review. I hate kids. That's not me. Like, I've certainly been around children like that I've been thoroughly annoyed by, but I don't think I actually would just naturally have a child who would be like that. If they come after me, I think they would tend to be more quiet and reserved and generally well-mannered. But at the same time, when they do step out of line, I can't imagine myself being any kind of dad who's got like the right balance of like discipline without being an asshole. I think I would be trying to be too much like the cool dad, or just straight up ignore it and hope that their problem goes away. Or I'd just like backhand the little pissant and be like,
fuck up.
Look, you get in line, you start falling in line or else. But yeah, I can't. I think I'm still too much like got like a childish, immature mindset for that kind of thing. I'm sorry, in order to be a genuinely good parent, I think you have to be prepared for that.
Oh,
and I admit, I don't think I'm willing to get myself into that mindset where I can make sacrifices, not get too tired after, doing the task of being both a parent and having a normal full-time job. Either or, I say if you're good at either or and you stick with it, you're a pretty busy person. And you're showing
absolutely.
Responsibility in life. I don't see how people do both, honestly. And well,
they do, but it's very
I don't.
taxing.
I think overall, I really don't know how to say it. Just imagine me, SK, a dad. I can't see it. I really can't. It's not that I hate kids. I've been annoyed by them before, but I've also been totally chill with kids before too. Not my sister's children. God, man, Santi and Luca was the most chill baby ever. I'm telling you, dude. Up to about 1.5 years old, he was super chill. I'm like, I try to give Brooke a break, like when I'm visiting family at Christmas time or whatever. She's there, and I'm like, okay, while you're doing other stuff, let me look after Luca for you. He's totally quiet and still, and he just like looks around and just like,
Yeah,
like what's up? Yeah, I'm a baby.
Hey, what's up?
But man, just like Santi, dude, by the time I reached about 2, ever since then, Mom is telling me all the horror stories, and I'm like,
no.
Ugh. Because Mom goes to Atlanta a lot to see them. Dude, she's being just like Grandma now. She's wanting to be the one to spoil her grandchildren and everything. And that's the kind of... She's being the very kind of grandparent right now that she used to bitch at me and Brooke about Grandma, about our Grandma being.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mom, I'm pointing out in all the ways Mom is the exact same way. And she tries to tell me, no, it's different.
Oh, that sounds just like your mother. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. And Brooke, I think Brooke calls her out on that, too.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Spoiling the kids by giving them presents all the time. And basically, quote unquote, interfering. That's what Mom used to like to accuse Grandma and Poppy both, but especially Grandma, about interfering with the way, Brooke raises her kids, in Mom's case. And she used to accuse Grandma and Poppy of interfering the way Mom would raise me and Brooke. Always trying to like protect us from the bad evil mommy. Mm-hmm. That is so Mom right now. Because Brooke, despite being... I remember Brooke once describing herself a few years ago as just being, I am a hardcore hippie Democrat.
I remember.
So that would definitely be along the same lines. The parental stereotype that mostly fits with that, I would say, is easily the one that lets her kids get away with anything and too afraid to like spank them or smack them upside the head in any way.
Right.
But no, Brooke apparently Brooke is actually pretty hardcore about trying to keep him in line. And Mom will, come back home and tell me stuff. I think she's too hard on them. So I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? that you always used to get onto Grandma, especially Grandma, but Poppy too. What you used to get onto her about. She's like, no, but your sister is seriously too hard on this. She just tries to make up some excuse. I'm like, you grew up to be your mom.
And oh man, I bet she might not like let it show, but I bet that burns her up when you say it.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
I know, man. And the thing is, the worst part is, and I'm probably putting this totally on myself. For all I know, they might not be thinking twice about it, because now that I think about it, I don't think my family has actually been too nosy about that kind of thing. SK, when are you gonna finally settle down and find your dream girl? I'm at that point where I'm content with just knowing a lot of beautiful girls and being friends with them. I don't need to hook up.
Well, I mean,
and when I'm saying hook up, I don't mean like just, I'm not talking about just sex. I mean like just being in any kind of romantic relationship. I just like to say hook up.
I understand, but it's a good thing that you cleared it up.
I don't think I'm in that mindset where I'm totally content where I am right now, and
well, good.
Somehow,
I am glad. That's great. That's really good.
Because I see advantages. I'm a romantic idealist still, but I see the advantages and disadvantages of both kinds of lifestyles. Being single all your life and never marrying or anything. But also, I have to say, probably considering, especially how my mom and sister could be sometimes, I'm surprised at how few times they've actually just straight up gotten in my face and being like, when are you going to settle down and do what the rest of us have done long ago in our 20s, Find somebody to marry and have kids.
That's not the end-all be-all goal of life. I mean,
so
maybe it was
I don't think they've actually done as much as I thought, as much as I imagined they would. But still, somehow in my mind, I feel kind of like, and again, I'm probably bringing this all into myself. Like, a lot rests on my shoulders because I'm the only male Fentress in this generation. Somehow, my dad, he has 4 siblings,
and they were all women.
No, he has 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Okay.
One of his brothers was my Uncle Bob. Unfortunately, he had an accident that left him, like, mentally not there a long time ago, so he was never able to, like, get married or have kids or anything. And if there's one thing I gotta say about my dad's parents, my paternal grandparents, they sacrificed pretty much their entire lives ever since then to take exclusive care of him.
That demands the highest level of respect.
Yeah,
by the way.
It does. I mean, I've always heard my grandpa is a pretty rigid man. I didn't get to know him that well before he died. They're all gone now.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Bob and both my paternal grandparents, but he still has his one other brother and both sisters. And somehow, out of them, only the 2 sisters had children, other than Dad, and they're all women. They're all girls. So I'm the only one.
That wasn't so bad.
If I don't have a kid, there's no more Fentresses after I'm dead.
You want to know?
So I'm like, are they having a lot right on my shoulders, like expecting me to somehow?
Would you like me to share something with you that you might not even care to know?
Okay, go ahead.
So, I don't know if you were aware, but me and Rachel are not having kids.
You decided on it?
We've decided that we're not doing that. I personally...
All right, man. You better get that contraception going, because I'm telling you, while I'm in a... It's hard to say whether I lean more pro-life or pro-choice. Mm-hmm. All I can say is abortion is an ugly thing.
Right.
I can understand why some women in particular situations... Yeah. Well, this is kind of for the audience, too.
Yeah, like, we both kind of have a in the middle stance. I don't think we're
I'm neither
or pro-choice. We're like,
yeah, because I understand some situations, but in any event, I don't think it's a pretty thing, and it shouldn't be done casually. Certainly not casually.
Absolutely, completely agree. But here's the thing, right?
What I wanted to say was that in that case, do it so that you won't have to face that hard decision in the first place. use birth control of some means, because I don't believe if they have not been conceived, you're not killing anybody. You're not killing off a life if they're not even come into being in the first place.
Right.
That's why I bitch about the Republicans. I get the pro-life stance in and of itself, but why are you also against? You're seemingly against sex education outside of simply say just abstinence. Just practice abstinence or you go to hell. Because God does not like premarital sex. That's not going to work.
Right.
In my opinion, that's not going to work. Just birth control in the first place. Therefore, a child cannot be conceived in the first place, and therefore not be aborted. Whether you take a child is a living thing as soon as he or she is conceived, or it's not a living thing until after you've given birth to it. Either way, birth control solves that problem, in my opinion. So teach kids good sex education. Be safe. Be smart.
Shop S-smart.
Sorry.
Sorry. I
so was not thinking about that. Okay, did I come from there?
Well, I mean, the blocks are filled in, so surely. But,
So yeah, that. Yeah, either way, I think I take a middle stance, but of course, being Democrats and Republicans, they're never going to be smart and try to have any kind of bipartisan cooperation on any issue. It's got to be one extreme or the other.
Absolutely.
And both of them are too extreme in their own right.
So, remember I told you I made that, the narcissistic prayer, but I associate with the picture of Trump and post that on Ninja?
Yeah.
You know, I got a comment, it was like, well, Obama, blah, 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 and I'm like...
Oh my gosh.
Just because I make a slide at Trump...
That must mean you were a total Obama fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I admit, overall, I like him as a person better than Trump. I can at least say he's more polite. And doesn't act as much of a douche, but that doesn't mean I was this total Obama fan.
Right,
you know?
I wasn't. He did plenty of things wrong. And you know what? I'll call him out on it just as quickly. I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican. I don't want to be associated with this garbage, right? I mean, I guess if that's the thing, I really should have made that post to begin with, but...
Yeah, I guess you always need to put in the... man, where's a way to get up from here?
Can you not... Too bad you can't, like, jump? Is there like a...
can you?
No, I don't think so. It's like
you know, how about this? Is it impossible to swim upwards in this suit?
I'm going to assume it weighs that much and there's no buoyancy in it.
Okay.
But,
I definitely can't fill out the screen, so I guess I'd... Okay, while you talk, I'm gonna search around one more time, make sure there's not a ramp.
The original point I was gonna make is that, like, personally, I hate kids. Like, straight up, I think crotch goblins should just not exist within 300 feet of me. Like,
wait, I have never heard this term before.
What, crotch goblins?
Used to insult children.
Yeah, crotch goblins.
I'm not getting where this comes from.
They're just tiny, you know, goblins, tiny little annoying creatures that run around.
I guess the fact that they generally come up to like groin level of an adult.
That's where they were spawned from.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They were the.
Doesn't that just make you feel like your whole entire life kind of just feels a little more worthless? Just when you see it that way.
Yeah.
You spawned from someone else's sexual organs.
Yeah, I mean, that's how sexual organs work. Just these fucking crotch spawn, right?
I don't know about you. It just makes me feel kind of, I don't know, like smaller and more insignificant.
You once existed. Your DNA once existed in your father's testicles. You, this being that exists before me now.
Honestly, I wish you could just say whether you want a child or not, and magically a stork pops up like the next day, just delivering a child, like straight from God's hand in heaven or something, and not you start out as a sperm cell.
I go to lunch with my mom every Friday somewhere. Usually.
Oh boy, is she asking?
Usually,
is she asking?
No, not at all. Because
okay.
I think she understands a certain situation, but.
Oh, okay, cool. You can come down in several spots in this
and then
room.
drop down. Okay, cool.
So
So
I
that's
just
why
it's
I
a matter
thought
of just
there was
landing in the right place.
Great.
Thank God there's at least no random encounters when you're
Yeah.
underwater apparently.
But so and usually things at Quiznos are fine. Sometimes they have sports blaring on the TV, but I'll like kind of drift over there and accidentally bump the volume down button a bunch of times.
Okay.
Meaning I just turned the volume.
Apparently you're on very good terms with the employees there by now.
Yeah, like dude knows my order. Like he walks in, he's like, "Hey," I'm like, "Hey." He's like, "You want the same thing?" I'm like, "Yeah, man," and he'll do it. But
I like it when you've visited an establishment enough times to where you're on friendly terms with the staff like that. They know you, you know them. It's just comfortable.
yeah. So here's the thing. That particular day, this is this recent Friday, so 2 days ago, a family came in. It was a father and mother and their 3 charming, lovely children. And they sat
I take it this is sarcastic.
incredible. They sat underneath the TV that had the sports shit playing really loudly, so I could just like push them out of the way to get to the TV to turn it down anyways. But these kids were just screaming the entire time. It got to the point where I'm like, "Mom, I cannot stay here anymore. I have to leave." And
Did she understand?
yeah, she did, and she left with me. And then the second I stepped out, they came out behind me.
Oh,
And I'm just like,
oh my gosh.
it's like fate has taunted me yet again. And it was just it's just a reminder, like, because here's the thing, right? Like your example, what kind of father would you be in that kind of example where these kids are just being rowdy, loud assholes, right? Like,
I just don't think I would know what to do
and
either way.
maybe they didn't either. Like, they don't like.
That's why I'm like,
Maybe it got to the point where they've been out in public so long and
Yeah.
they act that way, and there's literally nothing they can do about it. So they've just kind of like,
parents are just praying that the day comes fast enough when those kids are like grown up enough to not act like little bastards.
right. And I mean that.
That was harsh. Little shits.
No bastards. Well, I mean they can't be bastards because they're with their parents.
I don't really want to use the term bastard. That really seems to dehumanize. Just a personal thing. Little shits is good
You
enough.
little shits.
Of course,
but,
I mean, if anybody I know from like
so,
CF
and
is
here's the
watching
thing.
this,
I'm really happy with my life where it is right now. I do not want to sacrifice that for a child. Like, I like the freedom I have in my life right now. I like the things I'm doing in my free time. I like the time I'm spending with people that I do not want to give up. Right? I like how casual and... So, here's the thing, right?
I mean, you
Kids.
get that though. You're not going to be irresponsible and just be like, oh, let me just, bang anytime I want to and not have the slightest bit of...
Well, the end of the story, I'm just going to jump to the end. I had a Vass
Oh, when was this?
years ago.
Isn't there always still like that, like
No, not
something like a 1 in 100,000 chance?
Here's the thing. The 1 in 1,000 chance is that the Vass doesn't work.
Oh,
It
okay.
either works or it does not work, right? If it works, you're done. Like, it's good. Rachel exists now because her father was the 1 in 1,000.
Do you know whether it's going to work or not beforehand? Before you field test it, if you get my drift.
Well, no. All right. So just a little insight on how vasectomies work, right? It's either 2 weeks or like a month after the procedure. You're supposed to produce a sample, take it back to the clinic,
Right.
and have it tested. If you neglect this step, because you don't have to do that, right?
Right.
You could just ignore it and go on the rest of your life, right? But if you don't do that,
Ew.
and you're the 1 in 1,000 that the vasectomy didn't work, that sample will let you know, because they'll test it for a sperm count, and then they'll come back and tell you, yeah, it's 0, you're done, or hey, guess what?
Huh.
But anyways, now backing back up into the story, I just don't like kids to begin with. But Rachel, on the other hand, has some medical reasons that she
Shouldn't.
it would make raising a child incredibly complicated.
Right,
So,
right.
With those two, with my just general disdain of children and the complications she would
General
have.
disdain.
It's a shield!
Yeah. And the complications that she would have from not only, trying to raise a child, but just carrying it to term. We decided that that's just not what we're going to do, and I went under the knife.
For
So
future reference, in case I ever get married and, my future lady knight decides, I don't think children is our thing
Yeah.
either, how much would that cost?
$900.
That's it?
$900.
Dude, I actually figured it could be like as much as 10,000.
$900.
That's nice. I mean, because that enables you to
Think about
get
this.
your freak on and never have to worry
Yeah.
about.
You gotta think about that.
So it seems like a big-
$900 to guarantee that there won't be any happy accidents, versus how much money does it take to raise a child to the year 18?
I have heard before, and I think I got this. I don't know how I remember this, but I think I got it from an episode of Mama's Family.
Yeah.
An average, like to raise them up in a decent household,
Mhm.
middle class, I
I'm
guess you
curious
would
if
say
your number
is
the same
is
number I-
180,000.
I think that's. I've heard it could be more, but that might be a more reasonable price. Regardless, $900 versus that. Yeah, I want to take that.
Yeah,
But anyway,
but
the entire reason-
I'm just more along the lines I think I'm still too much like a child myself to be the right kind of dad,
But to
and too crazy.
back this up all the way to the reason why I even brought this up, you're like, your last name resides with you. My last name resides on me as well.
Oh, so you've already
I have
done
already
it.
killed it. Like my
Much
my,
like in Final Fantasy Tactics, after Ramza defeats his brother Dice Darg and thinks Salbag is dead, which technically he is already. And he's
Mhm.
like,
Well, yeah,
no more bells.
yep. No more bells.
It ends here.
Yep. Same with the house line. Household. Like now my bloodline continues through my sister and her daughter, but the last name is done. Just like your family's blood is going to continue through your sister and her offspring, but that's like quarter blood, I guess.
I really don't want to insult my nephews, but they have become little demon spawn from what I know.
All right.
But apparently even my dad, thinks of Brooke has definitely become a respectable and hardworking mom. So, but I mean,
Good.
obviously that kind of thing was for her, just not for me. It doesn't have anything to do with me just hating kids.
Well, you know what?
I'll if I can sum it up at all, I just don't think I have the mentality for it. I don't think I do. But hey, there has been a couple of times where, I remember it was the weirdest thing. I'll definitely agree with you. When you got bratty kids in a restaurant and you're like, man, if you're at least 4 by now, there's no sense in that. I mean, how you're acting this way. This is inhuman.
You're right. This dungeon sucks, by the way. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Continue.
But it was the weirdest thing. I had this, I don't know, I guess it was almost a religious experience. When I lived in that townhouse in Marshall, and as expensive and as it was, for all of its niceties, God, I don't know which ones I haven't been in yet.
Are there blanks on the map where you haven't?
I could pay more attention to what's going on the map on that floor. Yes, you're absolutely correct. And I haven't been doing that.
Great.
But let's take a look around.
I don't even know where you're
On
trying
the
to
bottom
get.
floor.
Oh, so you want...
I think I'm trying to get. I think there's a
Yeah,
switch.
so you
down
need
there.
to land there. So whatever this hole is.
Okay,
like-
so my arrow is facing this way, and I'm facing.
No, yeah, that's who you're facing. I think there's a block on the first floor that shows you haven't jumped down it yet.
Okay, there's gotta be.
Yeah. But hey, man, you know what? Let us both kill our family's last name together.
That sounds so wrong.
Fuck it.
But so for as nice as that townhouse was, you'd think with being $800 a month, it could have at least had a washing machine and dryer in there. But no, I had to go to the local laundromat.
Awesome.
And there was one time there was a little baby in there, just in its crib. You know, its
Shit.
mother wasn't like irresponsible. She was right there, just a few steps away to tend to her laundry, but she left it there in the seat. And it was generally crying, but somehow it wasn't like this shrill. It wasn't like pine needles in my ears or anything this time. And as I finally passed by it on its way out, I just kind of peered down into it, and I'm like, oh, cute little child. Who that could be a little SK someday. God help us all. But other than that, can't really say I'm just, whichever way God has planned for me, and honestly, it just looks like it's leaning in never being married and never having kids, and I'm cool with that right now.
Yep. I'm gonna be very
I
disappointed in you
made my
if,
peace with it.
If ever you end up marrying and have a child and you continue the Pinterest last name, which is
Well, I'd
this
still-
video we have made a pact. A pact.
I don't recall this now.
You agreed to it.
I agreed. I don't recall this either. You're gonna have to point this out in comments later after this is uploaded, the exact moment.
Yeah, I'll absolutely do that. Oh, hey.
Okay,
That's really
what
nice that you have a skill that removes all debuffs.
What if my wife and I end up just having a daughter instead, a little girl, a little princess, a little lady knight? Then
Okay, all right.
how's
Okay.
that gonna work?
All right, if you have a child, it has to be a girl. We have to.
Okay. So I'm off the hook
Yeah.
as long as it's a girl.
Yep, absolutely.
Cinema snob. I hate kids. And then like the theme music starts up like that's the only intro to his video. I hate kids. Man, even if Spoonie isn't still going, I mean, at least I got Snob.
Yeah.
There's still so many good moments with him. Just the kind of things he says.
What's a paladin? Man, I miss Spoonie. I miss
yeah.
old Spoonie.
I mean, all I can say is the last I heard, it was about a year ago, and you know, he did like nothing but streams since his last review in like 2016, and it was nothing but just live streams of video games from then on. And I always heard he just was always just very, to put it nicely, hard with his fans, you know, the few that still cling to him in those streams and everything. But about a year ago, I happened to catch that he was doing Resident Evil 7, and he seemed fairly chill during that time. So I was hoping, you know, at least he's gotten like his mental problems straightened out. At least, you know, or at least
I hope so.
working on it, even if he's not actually gonna, you know, get back to doing reviewing.
I'm actually googling Noah Antweiler right now. Let's see if
Oh my gosh, is this? No, that's not
there
it.
is a square missing. You see it? There's
Okay, yeah, I just haven't been walking in that direction for some reason. I'm either looking at Vice where he's walking or the map separately. I'm not putting the two together and getting my senses of direction straight. Just block for a Rainosaur. That's all I'm gonna do to take them all out at once. Over there. This made me think these little lizard-like enemies right here made me think of like Once Todd in the Shadows likened Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Lil.
Yeah.
A lot of rappers have Lil something as their names. Lil Wayne. Do you remember what that dude looks like?
I can imagine.
It is like, you know, if you like, you know, had like if you took like this normal looking, you know, black guy and crossed him in some bizarre science experiment with a Gila monster.
Fair
It's
enough.
like that is so accurate.
Yep.
Oh god, dude, be glad you weren't here in this one. This was a song where it's like apparently he's known for just collaborating with just about any, you know, artist you can think of. It was him and Drake, the dude from Canada, and Nicki Minaj.
Yeah. Oh,
and it was a song about like just basically about how hot Nicki Minaj is. Well,
that's a lie.
you know, of course that's entirely a matter of opinion. But yeah.
I need to find out if there's a turbo button in the simulator because holy crap, this sucks. This sucks real bad.
This time I straight up landed on the floor,
Yep.
not on one of.
There's still a block.
This is the high point right here where I need to, that I'm walking next to right here that I need to find the way into. And I've stepped in some areas twice. It's just one of those things where unless you're really focusing, and of course I'm trying to, you know,
we have had some really crazy tangents.
You know, I'm trying to hold decent commentary at the same time. I just can't do both at once.
All right.
I admit
once you get back up here, we're going to stop. We're going to shut up. We're going to look at the minimap. We're going to find out where the hell you need to go.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
I can just see Vice. It's like moving through Jill. Just everything going in slow-mo.
So.
All right.
So.
It is somewhere over here.
You see, look, dead center. There's a block right here. What is that?
Is that it, though?
I don't know.
Well.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't have any outlines like the other drop-offs have, so... By the way, shout out to the white map again.
Yeah, for real. Alright, we're gonna just try Pyre and Pyram, and hopefully that'll get them both, unless they silence me.
Give me strength.
Enemy in here somewhere had silence going.
You know what? I'm just going to say that doing all this running around and all these extra fights that we're doing is to make up for all the fights that we have been passing up with the white map currently.
Give me strength.
Sure. That makes you feel better.
That makes me feel better.
By the way, dude, what was up? Did that, the snow cone slushy place right outside your neighborhood?
Yeah.
Did that close for the summer already?
Shouldn't.
Because I mean, dude, it was straight up shut. And I thought it was open like all week.
No, I think I don't know. Maybe they don't do weekdays or only.
You mean Sundays?
Or
But I thought they did.
I think they actually don't do Sundays. They don't.
But they were open when I was here last time on Sunday.
Then never mind.
So
I
that's
do
why.
not know.
And it just somehow looked like completely like just shut down for the whole summer. It just gave me that impression. I was like, well, that sucks.
Shouldn't be.
Because I mean, they're super cheap for being pretty good. Like you get like 32 ounces for $4.
It's a lot.
A lot of wild flavor. For some reason, I just like the name Frigid Frog.
They do this one thing that I don't do often, but for like 75 cents more, they'll put vanilla ice cream in the bottom of the cup and then fill it up with the icy. And I did that for a little bit. And that was always nice because what happens is whatever flavor you pick, by the time you get to the vanilla ice cream, that flavor is saturated, that ice cream.
Right.
And it just becomes like a creamy version of your icy that's really good.
I'm a dipstick. I'm an idiot.
And you don't know what you're doing?
I have been on green on Ica for a long time, and I have acknowledged the existence of Saccharin before ever since we started LPing tonight.
Uh-huh.
So that's right before the Dark Rift.
Yeah?
That's her last spell. I've been missing out on probably so much MP.
Cool.
Going towards... So, yeah, we need to change that up right now.
Well, at least you ran across it eventually.
And to tell you the truth, I don't remember how to do it outside of battle. Ah, wait,
There.
here it is. Let's get some blue going. I think Drapman was really the only one who worked on that. He's not going to come back for for a long time.
I mean,
so
are you even going to use him when he does?
I might, just for kicks. I honestly hadn't decided who I want to take for, like, the absolute final fight
All right.
yet.
So straight ahead, like just
Yeah, it's
you're
just...
still in that block. All right, so that's definitely not it. So do me a favor and go down here and go all the way up. Just, I want to see what's up. And run across. Does it just fill in? Huh. So from
wonder-
it has to be either this one or that one, surely, right?
I think I've been to the one straight ahead of me.
It has to be one.
Like when I come back out into this room, I think I have been to that one
It
down
has to be-
down right. So
It's got to be either this one or the one right below it. It has to.
oh wait, yeah, I think I'm landing on it. I think I'm landing on the long one.
Nope. It's right to your left. Like, that's the one you need to be on, right there. Because you see it goes off into a doorway right there.
I didn't think that was it though. I thought there was a switch.
Yeah,
on
well,
one.
see, here's where you need to land, because it goes up, around, and up.
I somehow cannot tell
You
where
need to-
you're landing from the upper room. I cannot compare this map to the upper room somehow. I'm not putting.
Now, here's what's sad. You probably have taken it once and went the wrong way. You probably jumped off of the path that you were on the right one.
Yeah, that's entirely possible.
And jumped off. So hey guys, if that's the case, we're sorry. I know that must be incredibly frustrating. In fact, this episode probably would have been better to listen to as a podcast and not actually watch this. Because it's
Just
probably
walking back up. I mean, it's like we're in slow motion.
Okay, I am going to keep my eye. In fact, here. We want to land right here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put the mouse there. And
If the upper room precisely coincides with the lower room,
it does not. But I do say that is incredibly close.
okay, let's try it.
If not, then maybe this one?
Yeah, I think we're leaping onto it.
You had to have landed. No, it filled in map. You've never been on this one.
It was not only the last one out of all the ones I've tried, but I'm pretty sure I've tried at least 2 or 3 others twice.
Oh, yeah.
Finally got it though.
It just took us paying attention.
Still not near as complicated as Water Temple and
Ocarina of Time's Water Temple.
I think that is the remainder we need to do. Remainder of water to fill up. For some reason, I'm just thinking of like a miniature Big Daddy right now.
your budget Big Daddy.
But yeah, back to Bioshock Infinite when I accidentally blew the head off of that one guy who I think was just hiding in his house, like hoarding as much supplies as he could because thanks to Booker, single-handedly, one-man army, just war broke out all over the city. And he, he was probably hiding in there scared. And I go in, I blow his head off, and take what's in the house. And I'm thinking along the same way Spoonie thought of the Avatar. Yeah, great. I just murdered a grown man in a public park because I'm on serious Avatar business. I have to explain this to the police. Just don't feel good about that. I'm sorry.
Finally, I made it to this. Splash, die.
There's something about the tone, it's actually a pretty small difference in terms of being really just one essential difference between the level of violence in Bioshock 1 and 2 and that in Infinite. In Bioshock 1 and 2, for one, it's like I'm able to look at them as more just monsters, or I'm at least putting them out of their misery because they're splicers. They're completely out of their minds,
Right.
But the humans in Bioshock Infinite, I mean, they're in their right minds. They're just like horribly racist. That's about it. But when I'm setting them on fire with a vigor and they're running around screaming. I'm sorry, I tend to feel bad about doing that. And the
so
fact
you're
that I'm
saying you
actually
feel bad about racists, Brad? Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
You feel bad. You sympathize for racists.
I don't enjoy playing as a human myself. I mean, a Big Daddy, I guess he can't really help what he does in a way, so playing as him in Bioshock 2. But also, like, the level of violence, it takes a step up in Infinite to where you're actually, like, graphically, like, destroying bodies. Like, you're decapitating or blowing off heads or something. In Bioshock 1 and 2, it was just like a simple spatter of blood, no matter what weapon you were using on. So I was cool with that. I mean, it wasn't crossing the line with me. I know it's a personal thing.
Yeah, I mean that's
but
fine.
I mean that's what I got. That's what I gotta say
when
about.
I played Infinite, I buzzsawed so many skulls with that hook thing. So many.
I like how the Gila monster is it Gila or Gila?
I don't know.
Just kind of like slowly walks over to him. I think he's about to get Enrique in the
like,
back.
Just like a
Like
Tonberry from Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Just kind of slowly waddling up. I'm gonna get you.
Oh, I was about to say, wait, some lived?
Yeah, I don't know why they had to like be exterminated separately from the other group of monsters, but okay. Eternies.
Yay, Eternies!
But when she gets Eternum, though, that's real nice for battles with monsters where it's just like one of them, but they got a lot of HP. Because I've never met one it didn't work on all the time.
Really?
Now, I have to go through a turn to save up for the spirit points to do it. But on the next turn,
gone.
Done. I'm pretty sure that's a mechanic they kind of overlooked, like, to where, you can make battles too easy in general. But it's kind of like Final Fantasy VIII. It's not that obvious. So I don't really count it against the game. You gotta kind of learn to just juke the system yourself, Like with junctioning, when you get the hang of it, you can exploit it and make Final Fantasy VIII pretty easy. In terms of like how hard it is to actually die and get game over, but it's still an enjoyable game. You know?
Yeah, Final Fantasy VIII is still pretty good. And I think it's got the most balls-ass, stupid story next to 13, but...
And yet the difference in levels of stupidity is still...
I mean, like, the fan theory that Squall is dead makes more sense than anything else that you could try to derive from the actual story.
Like, somehow Final Fantasy 13 story just ticks me off, and yet not 8's. Although I agree that 8's just gets insane, and
like,
I do not want to do that.
Everybody grew up in the same orphanage. I'm like, what? Where the hell are we?
Back at the beginning, so I need to not go back out, because that probably resets everything.
Ooh, that would be bad. That's something we just have to do off camera.
Yep. I think I need to just go back in the main room and drop off. That was the thing to do. Save up for Rain of Swords.
Rain of Swords.
And also can't really count against Skies of Arcadia, because this is true of probably a lot of RPGs, if you really stop and talk about it. For big portions of the game, your battle strategy will become almost the exact same every time.
Dominant strategy. That is what that called. It's the dominant strategy.
I don't see how really you can help that as a programmer. How you can keep that from happening in a lot of cases, at least easily. I mean, dude, despite how much work we put into battle balancing on Arcadia,
it's still...
You can still easily get into the same, flow, the exact same strategy, the attacks you're going to use, when you're going to defend, when you're going to heal, and what specific attack you're going to use in just about every battle after so long. I mean, I don't see how you can really do anything about that. And the sad thing is, by a long shot, we had the most involved battle system of any RPG Maker 1 game I've played, or at least seen.
Oh yeah, no, that goes without question.
And we would have had a much larger variety of attack if we had the friggin' data room for it.
Yeah, that's true.
RM1, you were not meant to make a serious RPG with. Okay, how?
I was about to say, what the hell?
Okay, so how are we gonna get back out if we can't?
Good.
If we can't
oh,
swim?
that feels bad. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I imagine the water pressure has got to be kind of.
I'm assuming the suit is supposed to alleviate that.
Yeah. Again, how do you get back out if you can't swim up with it?
Hold your breath. Take it off.
If you take it off, though, won't the water pressure like kill you?
I mean, I don't think it's that deep. Oh, there you go. I guess there's an airlock in there? What?
How did that happen?
I'm assuming that.
Oh, I was wondering if like you actually had the choice of between getting up on this ledge and going up the rope, or
that rope's the way out.
or hopping down through the waterfall and having to start the whole dungeon over. Like it'd take you out to an exit or something.
Oh, well, hey, we made it. We finally made it through this freaking dungeon.
Yeah, apparently there's still a little bit
Now
more.
I do not blame the denizens for being like, yeah, we can't go get that. Hey, now we're working towards getting off the cutlass. Of course, this one's not gonna do it, but...
Be interesting if it did. Just one cham does it.
One cham tree.
It was half deliberate, half I honestly couldn't remember how I kept like getting the name wrong of the item you have to collect so much of in every dungeon in .hack GU. I was like, hey, it's one of those chimney cheroos.
Chim Jams.
Or chimichanga.
Chimmy.
They're like, it's a chim chim. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, it's a chim jam. Wicca.
Yeah, that's another thing about Infinite. It's a minor point though, so I'm not seriously griping about it. Okay.
Just an
Again,
nitpick.
I wanted to be sure I'm being fair to the game. What was the point of having before you go to just about every new area, or you go into a new house or building of some sort that something's going to progress the storyline along? You just had a lockpick, and you just had to summon Elizabeth for it. And yeah, it took a short amount of time, but there was no point in it because it's not like it was a lock. It was called a hairpin lock, which she unlocks without any help whatsoever. Those weren't the same as the locks where you find optional stuff that you actually had to collect lockpicks for. It was something she did on her own. You didn't have to like use up your consumable lockpicks towards that. So what was the point of having the little scene just having to call her over to lockpick it? If it's just to progress the game. It only took a few seconds, but again, no point at all. It just seemed like busy work. If you can even call it that.
I do not know how to answer your question, sir.
I could understand if they actually made it so that you need to sacrifice a consumable lockpick item for it.
I guess that's why, just in case you didn't have the lockpick.
But the thing is, it didn't cost anything. You just did it.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. So all it did was just waste, like, I don't know, a good 10-15 seconds to call Elizabeth over and be like, hey, can you get this? And she works on it for a few seconds, like, done. This is easy. Shh. Every time she said something like this, come on, give me a challenge. I just went...
Aim your gun. Iron sights down.
Okay, I took one step, and a battle happened. Either that was extremely lucky, or I shouldn't get near this thing. I think that's what it was. I got near to that contraption in the wall, and these guys came to life.
Because I've not seen...
I'm just gonna do Counter-Strike just for the crap of it.
Well, get ready to waste a turn.
Bring it on.
I don't know why, it just looks cool how he knocks his arms together.
And then, like, looks through them.
Yeah. Okay. Why'd they call it drain?
Here goes.
Oh, she got stoned.
Oh, that's...
but you could counter before getting turned into stone.
Hey,
That's interesting.
how'd you enjoy using that counterattack?
I didn't say it was gonna work. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. It's a waste. Counterattack's garbage.
I guess I just wanted to see the animation.
Oh, I'm not. No, I'm not complaining at you. I'm
Okay.
complaining at it being a thing in the game. Like,
I don't know why you just have to take that extra 2 seconds to see the little icon fade away.
Yeah.
It's like, I get...
have fun.
Is he getting turned to stone too? Yep, sure enough. Man, this could be troublesome. Well, I can do lunar cleansing. That's not too much.
Yeah, do it. I'll get both of them in one turn.
Purify our souls.
Not too worried about our souls right now. Just want our body
Yeah.
unstoned, please.
Oh, it took off her downgrade too. That's cool.
Here goes.
I wasn't even thinking about that. Stone?
Okay, this is annoying.
Okay, maybe I can get a quick just Royal Blade in to finish off the one guy.
And before,
Or who knows, maybe even Cupid's Cutlass will do it. And you can turn Royal Blade onto the other dude. Nah, not quite.
Well, this is
Like, I like that
overkill.
first part right there, but then he starts making these dumb Chinese martial artist sounds. And then this... I don't know how you're, like, teleporting around while turning your face back to the enemy, like, prepare to die.
That- Well, you know what to do.
Yep. It's nice that they let you skip through it.
Oh, that means lasagna's ready. That's what that beat means.
Ugh.
And hey!
But I get to counterattack
wait,
first.
wait. Oh, no, there it is. Alright.
Maybe this was actually something I had to do for I could go on through the door, like they were guarding it or something.
I mean, they are called...
I'm the Guardian.
Oh no.
Oh, counterattack.
Does the counterattack stone? Nope.
Ah, there we go.
Is it over already?
Okay,
Yeah, you
so
were stoned for half of it. That's why I feel like it was so short, Vise.
okay, good. It was both of them on the wall there. God, I thought the
Oh wait,
boss
that's
were-
gonna raise you off of the score. Are you sure you're ready to get? Uh-oh. Raining the water.
Oh, well, we can always raise it back up whenever we want. So, is there something maybe on this side of the room? It's gotta be a point to coming down here.
Nope.
Trying to turn around there.
Oh, there's a passage directly behind you.
Huh, where, what?
Okay.
Wait, let's just try to explore this last little bit. Maybe there's something that... Okay. Well, that was pointless, I guess. Just shield and save for Rain of Swords. Get him in one go.
Over there.
That is surprisingly a lot of damage.
I'm gonna get you. It's like Fina's totally not paying any attention.
Da,
She's
da,
not seeing him
da,
coming.
Da, 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 da.
I think I'd rather have like an iguana monster claw me a little bit rather than breathe fire in my face. And yet it did less damage to Enrique than the claw attack did to Fina. Dead.
Dead.
We won! We won!
Explode the screen with my voice. Well, all right.
Turn right.
Turn right?
Yeah, right there. Wait, no. Never mind. Ignore me. Just go back up.
Okay. Huh.
This
Oh,
puts you up
it
in a
put me-
different location.
Okay, so I guess there was a big point to that.
Well, there's a doorway to Vice's right up here. Or is there not? Let's try that.
Where did
doorway.
I come from in the first place?
Maybe it went up 2 levels.
Okay, yeah, something like that. Oop. You know, honestly, I thought we were coming upon the boss room after the big dive into the middle room.
I did too.
Here, I'll at least get one looper. That's like an optional ship battle later on, when you can start flying everywhere in the world. There's just like a giant looper hanging around.
I'd like to think that for every looper that runs away, he's added to the big one.
You know, now that you mention it, it could have something to do with that. I need to look that up. Or every looper you've killed or something.
I really doubt it. Please be the end. I am very hungry.
I had Arby's earlier, so I'm chilling. Okay, what did you push on the door that made it open? Curious.
The door. What? Wait.
I'm sure you could survive that fall. Anything in the back?
Another door.
Huh. Let's try that first. No!
No! I'm hungry! I am hungry. It's torture. Oh, it's full of water.
Oh. I'm like staying as close to the wall as possible so as to not activate the elevator by accident.
Yes! A save point! Food!
Okay, yeah, and you know what? We will do that next time. Later, guys.
Peace!